Man, this dude Bob Arum is a fucking whack job, man. He's a nut job. This your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the boxing clinic. Let's enter that real boxing shit, man. And Bob Arum, did a few interviews. Fight Hub. He did one on Fight Hype. Today, talking about the state of boxing. Talking about how fighting on ESPN and basic cable is the new wave of boxing. Like I told you guys, he's crediting UFC for that blueprint when clearly Al Heyman kicked the ball off and got it rolling with boxing, and got it all together. But he refuses to give his fellow Harvard alum any credit on that end. Real shit, and it's getting pathetic. Now he talks shit about UFC. He's a big hypocrite. Now he's want to praise UFC for the model when actually Bob Arum created the model for boxing, And now he's saying that, Lomachenko and my fighters won't go to Showtime. They not doing 1 million views. I'm not sending my fighter over there, and he's not getting exposure of at least 1 million views. It wasn't about the money. Why he wouldn't send his fighter over to Showtime, he said. It's about the views. Who gives a fuck about the views, Long as the money's right. I don't think Lomachenko or Crawford will give a fuck about if they do 1 million views. Now he's talking about, ESPN, everybody sees it, it's at the bar, you getting millions and millions of views now, and everybody is, it's the new thing to do. But when Al Heyman was having fights on ESPN, Spike, NBC, regular Fox, you was trying to sue him, you was mad, basically saying that, that ain't right. It's illegal or they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that. You know what? I don't like that. I don't like the motherfuckers over there. He was saying a whole bunch of hateful shit about, free boxing on real free TV, regular TV. Then he pulled the True TV shit out his ass, and now he putting the ESPN out his ass. Now he's the biggest promoter and marketer of basic cable boxing on ESPN. Oh, everybody watches ESPN. No shit, Bob. Been there, done that. Al Heyman. Been there, done that, Al. Bob. Been there. So he acting like he really starting this shit and reinventing the wheel and shit like that, and saying that other promoters can come over here and work with us, and we probably pay them more than they ever made in their career, and that's a fucking lie. We know Bob Arum is not playing any AA side money. They not even playing AB side money. That's why you see all them in-house and mismatches with Lomachenko and Moraga. It's A to C side money at the best. They want their fighters to get A money because that's what their fighters command. They're gonna take care of their people first, and then they want the other side to be C money, at least C money, and most of the time it's probably really D money. So he know guys not gonna go over there for the okie doke for the bullshit money that he giving out and pushing out. Real shit. And that's just what it is. He's a hypocrite. Right now he's poisonous to boxing. Let's just keep it real. We won't send Lomachenko and Crawford over to Showtime, but they can come over here and make peanuts. We probably pay more than they ever made in their career. Get the fuck out of here. Crawford and Pacquiao was making all over those years, and Tim Bradley. They've looked at the books and what motherfucking Al Heyman and PBC fighters was getting, especially versus, A and D level fighters and the mismatches PBC was putting on. Motherfuckers roll out their grave. Real shit. They roll out their grave. Knowing the money they may stop fucking with old Bob Arum. Old Billy Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? And, that just shows you right now he's refusing to work with other promoters. He's refusing to work with other promoters. Right there, he letting you know that, you can come over to our side, but we won't come over to their side. And you know why that is. They know that his guys get the takes of that money. They don't want to go back to ESPN with the bullshit, with him. They taste that real money. That's like you eating steak, and then you got to go back and eat Vienna sausages and Spam. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. He don't want his fighters to get the taste of the good life. He don't want them to know what they doing over there at PBC. Keith Thurman got paid $2.5 million, I believe, to fight Leonard Bundini Bundu. Crawford probably ain't seen $2.5 million in his life. Even he won't see $2.5 million versus Julius Ndongo. But Bob Arum was so against free TV, free boxing on TV. But he was so pro HBO, wasn't he? Not too long ago. You know why he was against HBO? He went ESPN now because ESPN gonna give him full reigns to put mismatches on. ESPN wasn't buying his mismatches no more. They wasn't buying it, and that's all it is to it. He's allowed to do in-house fights on ESPN. And that's what you gonna get. In-house fights. We gone.